Hey, all right. I want to show you where the application's at, and a cool new feature we're working on um, to allow anyone using an IoT device to use this platform to create mapping solutions for that device. So it's still kind of early, and just got the kind of the bones worked out. So I kind of want to show you it. Um, so here is a list of devices, and you can see you can go into like Robert's device, and this is their telemetry page. So here you can see we actually entered recovery mode from an issue. We've got some GPS location telemetry, and if we go to the map, right now we just got like a basic map showing like where you've been. We're working to improve this with like points and stuff, just real basic map. What I want to show you now is the concept of templates. So with templates, it allows you to create payloads that your IoT device is going to use. So say we're going to pretend this is, uh, we'll say this is a soil probe. So we'll pretend that instead of my device, we'll call it a soil probe. And if we go to these templates, it allows you to, like, we're going to offer like location and everything that plugs into the map out of the box. But say you have a soil reading, so you'll write your firmware code, whether it's in C, C++, Python, and my device has been Digi International radios, but this will work on a particle radio. So basically, you're going to name this template, this attribute template, soil reading. Um, is it location based? So is there going to be a GPS associated with it? Yes and no. Soon we're going to allow you to pick in the emulator like where locations are at. So in a soil reading, let's say we've got nitrogen level. That's a float. We're going to allow units in the future. Just working on it now. This is kind of early. So we have a float for nitrogen. Depth is also float. And right now we just have float and string. We're gonna really add more to this. I'm trying to think what would be another. Let's see. We'll just do test. It's going to be a string, just to show how this kind of works out. So you got the soil reading, and you create your attribute template. So you got that created. And right now, let's see. I don't want to necessarily go too far into that, but okay. So we're in the emulator section of the application. So here's your device template. So you selecting your device template, and down here is the JSON structure that like represents it. And it creates these fields. So here's like a test field that's our string, so string value, nitrogen, and we'll have units on this. I'm adding this. Like I said, I just got this part working in 5. And we're going to send the event. Right now I don't even have much validation. So if we go back to the debugger view, and hit refresh, unfortunately, so working on that as well, some like signal R. But you can see now that we've got that simulation come through, and the payload, you got an ID of the field, you got your label, there's our test, our data type of string, there's a string value, we got a label of nitrogen, float, value, label, data type, value. So right now it's just pumping into the telemetry, but what we're hoping to do is allow it so you can create mapping widgets and create like points and like circles and geofencing based on parameters that you set up in your templates. So we're gonna have system-defined templates as well, like error event or fault events. So let's just go through like this. Say you want to have device movement, and that's gonna be location, yes. And the key is we're really focusing on location-based devices. So by default, it's yes. These are location-based events. And then let's see, what would be an attribute here? Miles per hour. Float. Okay, so now we have 2 attributes in the system, and then like I said, we'll go back to the emulator. You got your soil, and it creates the form for you. But if you're a firmware developer, I'm working on a Python extension so you can like have like an SDK to send this up, but really it's just the shape of your MQTT message that you're sending over the bus. But then we'll say like miles per hour, 55 miles an hour. It'll have a location with that because we selected yes. Still work in progress. There's not much validation. Debugger, and then through here you can see it's coming through the miles per hour, the data type float, value. So now behind the scenes we'll have these attributes and values that we can attach to things and really build out on the map. And we're plugging this into Azure IoT Hub, and we're doing it where you can actually bring your own IoT hub. So basically all of these IoT platforms, whether it's a particle radio, whether it's a Digi International radio, whether it's a Blues wireless radio, whatever, their main things are like how you hook into Azure IoT Hub or AWS's Hub or MQTT or whatever. But we're focusing on the Microsoft Azure. So something that you can do is you can follow that tutorial, have your own Azure IoT Hub, and then we can hook into your hub. And then the idea is we're going to allow it so with low code you can create these templates that can be used by your device, and then we'll give, eventually we're building it out, a really rich mapping feature that goes along with it. So right now it's just lines, but I think we are definitely building this out, and I'm really hoping that we're going to focus really hard on the maps and really just make that really rich, best in class. So we got a lot of code to go, but this is where the dynamic fields is at. All right, later.